They told you the 401k was your safety net. But what if it's the quietest trap ever built? In 2025, new updates are being written into your retirement, not by accident, by design. Hidden language, revised terms, rules that sound harmless, but decide when and how you're allowed to use your own money. You worked decades to earn it. Now the fine print decides if you'll keep it. The truth? The 401k system isn't protecting your future. It's managing it for them. And once you see how it works, you'll never look at tax-deferred the same way again. Part 1. The Comfort Illusion. They told you retirement was peace. That comfort was the reward for obedience. But comfort is how they keep you asleep. Every monthly statement, every reassuring letter from your provider is designed to make you feel safe, so you'll never ask what's changing behind the curtain. The illusion works because it feels earned. You did everything right. You followed the rules. You trusted the system. But comfort isn't safety. It's silence. It keeps you calm while they adjust definitions. It keeps you grateful while they shift control. And by the time you notice, your freedom is no longer yours. It's rented. Part 2. The Promise Trap. Every system needs a promise to survive. The 401k was built on one: save now, live free later. But that promise was never designed for you to question. It sounds perfect. Tax-deferred. Employer match. Compound growth. A promise that makes you feel in control. But every promise has a condition. And every condition has a cost. The system doesn't break that promise. It rewrites it. Quietly. Legally. Every few years. They don't take your money. They take your timing. They decide when you can touch it, how much you can withdraw, and what qualified even means. That's not protection. That's permission, wrapped in paperwork. The trap isn't in the numbers. It's in the belief that the promise still belongs to you. Part 3. The Fine Print War. The most powerful wars are never fought with weapons. They're fought with words. In the world of retirement, that war lives in the fine print. A single phrase, a single adjustment, can rewrite decades of your life. When the IRS changes a definition, qualified, distribution, tax-free, they're not updating policy. They're changing the game. Every update looks harmless. Every amendment sounds logical. But behind the language is control disguised as compliance. That's the genius of the fine print. It doesn't stop you. It redirects you. By the time you realize the law hasn't changed, the meaning has, and the fine print always wins. Part 4. The Timing Theft. They never had to steal your money. They just had to steal your time. Every rule inside your 401k is designed to delay your freedom. You can save now, but you can't touch it. You can grow it, but only when they allow it. They call it retirement planning, but it's really retirement permission. Because control isn't about how much you earn. It's about when you're allowed to use it. That's why they push age limits. That's why they redefine qualified. That's why every update feels like protection, but works like delay. You think your money is compounding, but what's really compounding is their advantage. Every passing year, your time loses value, while their system gains it. And when the clock finally says you're allowed, you realize you were never the one keeping time. Part 5. The Ownership Illusion. They told you, you own your 401k, but ownership, without control, is just storage. You don't hold your funds. You hold a promise, a digital IOU, signed by a system that changes the rules whenever it needs to. Your account isn't freedom, it's custody. They can freeze it, redefine it, revalue it, and still call it yours. That's the illusion. You think you're the owner, but you're the custodian of their permission. The fine print doesn't protect you. It protects the system from you. Every time you log in, every statement you check, you're reminded you have assets. But until you can decide how, when, and why to use them, you don't own them. You're renting access to your own future. Part 6. The profit cycle. The system doesn't need to take from you. It just needs you to keep giving. Slowly, quietly, endlessly. Every paycheck, every auto deduction, every year you stay invested. That's the profit cycle. You put in the work. You provide the capital. They manage the time, and the spread between your patience and their control becomes their income. They profit from your discipline. They profit from your delay. They profit from your belief that following the rules will set you free. It's not theft. It's design. The longer you comply, the deeper the roots grow. And when you finally retire, you'll realize your growth was their yield. That's the truth behind every glossy statement. You built their freedom, while they sold you the dream of yours. Part 7. The behavioral trap. The greatest trap digital was never financial. It was behavioral. You weren't forced to comply. You were trained to. Every brochure, every ad, every phrase like, secure your future, wasn't information. It was conditioning. They taught you to fear mistakes, to trust institutions, to equate comfort with success. So you followed. Not because you were weak, but because the system understood your psychology better than you did. Fear made you cautious. Comfort made you still. And trust made you loyal. That's how they built a perfect feedback loop. Your emotions fund it. Your habits sustain it. And your silence protects it. Because the strongest form of control isn't restriction. It's belief. Part 8. Linda returns. Linda used to believe the system was fair, that if she worked hard and followed the rules, everything would balance in the end. But balance was the illusion. When the new laws hit in 2025, her withdrawal was reclassified. The savings she'd built for 30 years suddenly became taxable. She didn't panic. She read. She learned. And she realized something the fine print never said. That awareness was worth more than any interest rate. Now she teaches others what no advisor ever told her. That freedom isn't in the forms. It's in the questions you dare to ask. Linda didn't lose her retirement. She reclaimed it by refusing to stay silent. Part 9. Dependence versus awareness. Dependence waits for permission. Awareness moves without asking. Dependence trusts the form. Awareness reads the fine print. Dependence hopes the system will change. Awareness learns how it works. Dependence seeks comfort. Awareness seeks clarity. Dependence is afraid to lose. Awareness refuses to be owned. The system thrives on one and fears the other. Because awareness can't be taxed. It can't be delayed. It can't be controlled. Once you see the structure, you stop feeding it. That's why the battle isn't about money. It's about perception. And the moment you understand that, you cross the line between surviving and being free. Part 10. The awakening line. The truth was never hidden. It was just written small enough for you not to notice. The system doesn't need your permission. It already has your participation. But the moment you see how it works, you take back what was never supposed to be borrowed. Your time, your control, your freedom. This isn't about fighting the IRS or abandoning the plan. It's about understanding who really owns your future. Because awareness isn't rebellion. It's recovery. And when you decide to stop waiting, you stop complying and start creating. Remember this. Retirement isn't built by waiting. It's built by the decision you make today. That's not inspiration. That's the blueprint of freedom. If you're still here, you already see what most never will. You understand now, the system was never built for your freedom. It was built for your obedience. But awareness changes everything. So before you close this video, pause. Decide. Because every moment you wait, someone else defines your tomorrow. Share this message, not for numbers, but for the people still asleep in their comfort. Leave a comment below. Tell us when you realized the promise wasn't the protection. And subscribe to @XRP Today USA, because the next chapter of the Retirement Freedom Master series will show you how to turn awareness into independence. Remember this, retirement isn't built by waiting. It's built by the decision you make today. This isn't the end of a video. It's the beginning of your freedom.